do not activate it under any circumstance. If you activate this card, the moment you activate it, the central banking system, the entire central banking system, but specifically the Federal Reserve, will then be able to see every single thing that you buy. Everything. Now, it gets a little more complicated. So, if you have to, I want you to write this down. The letter E, the letter S, the letter G. That stands for environmental social governance. I also want you to write down the following letters: the letter D, the letter E, and the letter I. That stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay. I won't go off into the weeds beyond that, but those two things are leading up to what China is experiencing now, what is called the China social score. You're going to see your Beacon FICO score go away and be replaced with a new social score. Here's what this, and it's very political, folks. Sorry, it's very political. If you activate this card, they can not only see what you do, but if you are not a good little soldier, if you're not working to drive an electric car, if you are buying too much steak at the grocery store, and I could go on and on and on. If your company is doing anything to create a carbon footprint, because you've activated that card, they can cut off your banking account. If your taxes are not up to date, they can cut off your banking account. If you use your FedNow as a debit card to purchase gold or silver, which is the antithesis of this stuff, okay? You see, they can't print this stuff, folks. They can't print it. That's the problem. If you try to use your FedNow card to buy gold or silver, they will shut down your account. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. This scares me to death, the control they're going to have on all of us. It must stop. That's another issue for another night, perhaps.
Hey, Ray, let's do this. So I want you to elaborate a little bit more on that, but we won't expect everyone's time. But on Saturday morning, if you can cover some of that.
Absolutely.
Because we got a lot of people inquiring, so let's cover that on the Saturday training and a little bit more in detail. So you want to definitely make sure you're on Saturday training. The presentation will start at 11 a.m. the Wealth Strategy Eastern, and then after that we'll do an hour worth of training, and we're gonna give the last portion of that to my man Mr. Ray Patterson, so he can elaborate a little bit more, because that's definitely coming. We want to make sure we have our eyes open to everything that's taking place, because we are in that financial arena.
Yes.
And before we wrap it up, Ellis Mayberry raised his hand, and for those of you who know, that we had an amazing time this weekend there in Atlanta. Mr. Ellis Mayberry came from afar. Mr. Ray Patterson was there. Chris Latin came also. We had two of the top 10 earners in the company that was there on the stage. Myself, Mr. Curtis Harlan, and we also had Blake Davis, Vice President of Marketing and Sales, was there, along with Mr. Benny Kofe, who was one of the top corporate people that will be working with leaders in the field. And so we're going to do about anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 5 more events, Super Saturdays, before the year is out. Right now, we're looking at on the 26th, we're going to be doing in Seattle, Washington with Miss Sally Mary. In the latter part of September, Mr. Ray Patterson will be there in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we talked to my man, Mr. Ellis Mayberry, today. I don't know if that's what he wanted to share. But we're looking at mid-August. We're going to be doing a Super Saturday there in Dallas with Mr. Ellis Mayberry. We'll give you guys the details of once we lock everything in. But we'll probably be doing at least 2 more events so we can help you leaders build in your market. I'm a big fan of that face-to-face, belly-to-belly. I don't think there's any substitute for that. I like looking leaders in the eyes and letting them know that we're going to be there with you, and we're going to take this thing all the way. So that being said, Mr. Ellis Mayberry, I don't know if you're still available. And then we'll end up with my man, Mr. Marcus Davis, with the sign-up party with his group. I'm sure he always has a lot of people on here that's getting ready to get started. Mr. Ellis Mayberry, the floor is yours, sir.
No, I was just going to say before Ray came on, but I just want to say Ray has come on. I had the pleasure of spending some time with Ray this past weekend, and guys, this guy is a wealth of knowledge. I am looking so forward to hearing other things that he has to talk about, because been formerly in banking, this FedNow thing, just as scared as he is, the control that this is going to master over a lot of people, and I have to say a lot of our people, because one of the things that Ray said, and he said, "Hey guys, I don't mean any evil by this, but the ones that are going to be hurt the most in the very beginning are people of color, and that is because in more cases than not, we are not educated on these opportunities and these things that come out, and we think we're getting something good because we get a debit card in the mail." And so we're going to have to start really educating ourselves and educating our people. The other thing I wanted to say is I got a chance to hear what Tony talked about with the Halseys, upfront and personal. I had a number of meetings that I went to with the Halseys. The Halseys were the first to reach Crown Ambassador as people of color in the Amway business. Now, Ruth Halsey, his wife, was not a beautiful woman, but when you heard George describe her, you thought she was the most beautiful person in the world, and all that money made her look that beautiful person. He did say, "I'll do today what others won't, so Ruth and I can live tomorrow like others can't." And he lived by that principle. He would go to work and do what had to be done. Like I said, the first persons to reach Crown Ambassador as a person of color within Amway. And then, of course, the floodgates were open because of them setting the standard, kind of like what Tony does here for all of us, and setting that standard and bringing on people like Ray Patterson to give us the good information. And yes, Tony and I did decide on mid-August, I'm going to start working on that for the Dallas area, that we're going to have a Super Saturday like we had in Atlanta. So we'll be getting those details out to you in the next couple of weeks, so that we can start building for that here in Dallas. And we look forward to hosting many of you. If you live within a 300-mile radius of Dallas, we want to see you here in Dallas for Super Saturday. Thanks, Tony. And thanks, Ray. I'm looking forward to Saturday training already.
Ellis, it was a Saturday. I fully enjoyed that brief time we got to speak, and very much looking forward to sharing things with you in the very near future. And thank you for everything you're doing, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
All right, my man, Mr. Marcus Davis, you want to close it out, man? And then Saturday morning will be the next presentation, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And we followed up with an hour with the training. Make sure you're on there. Make sure your team is on there. We're gonna turn my man Ray Patterson loose on Saturday. We're going to let him come out the gate. All right, Marcus, you got the floor, my brother.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tony. Mr. Patterson,